Hi everyone! When people think of air pollution, most immediately picture heavy smoke drifting over city and industrial plants. This is the first and foremost evident form of air pollution. From its but not the only one. Let's begin today with the discussion by defining the terms by air pollution at a broader level. Air pollution, in its most basic definition, is the introduction of harmful substances into the Earth's atmosphere. These substances linger and cause many adverse effects. As you know, human and other living creatures rely on the atmosphere for respiration. When air quality is damaged by pollution, immediate and longer term consequences take place. Pollution has been known to cause allergies, disease, damage to crops, and in extreme cases, even death. In addition, air pollution creates an imbalance in the natural gases that make up our Earth's atmosphere. Since imbalance slowly aids in the depletion of the ozone layer, an essential region of the stratosphere that soaks up most of the sun's damaging ultraviolet UV rays. Based on my reading, as the ozone depletes, the rate of global warming increases. If enough air pollution clutters our environment, it creates the danger of more rapid deterioration of the ozone layer. You can see the trouble this may cause. It's important that we, as citizens of the world, fully understand the causes, effects, and possible solution of air pollution so that we can make an educated decision for Earth's future. There are many causes of air pollution. For sanity's sake, we have done our best to categorize them at a more general level. Before we get into the different causes, let's take a quick step back and look at the different variations of air pollution. First, there's invisible than visible air pollution. The smoke you see lingering over a city is a good example of visible pollution. Invisible pollution are arranged as unnoticeable, but they can be just as deadly, if not more so. Examples of invisible pollutants include nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide, to name a few. Carbon monoxide inhaled and introduced into a human bloodstream spell troubles if the pollution is a high enough concentration. Digging down even deeper, air pollution can be split into primary and secondary pollution. Primary pollutants such as sulfur dioxide are ones directly released into the atmosphere. Secondary pollutants like smoke, for example, are the result of primary pollutant. Intermingling with the already existing particles in the atmosphere, without any further ado, let's get into some specific causes of air pollution. The smoke that comes from some activities are going to be a major causes of this problem, such as vehicle exhaust fume, fossil fuel based from power plants, and also exhaust from the industrial plants and factories. Firstly, the vehicle exhaust fume. The number one source of the air pollution in the city environments is vehicle exhaust fume, which happen to release high amounts of carbon monoxide. It's not surprised then carbon monoxide also happen to be the largest air pollutant in the United States. Millions of vehicles are operated on a daily basis in the US alone, such as each one leaving its own carbon footprint on the environment. This is why hybrid and fully electric vehicles are making a splash in the automobile marketplace. People are looking to rely less on fossil fuels to power their cars, leading to less toxic emission into the environment. Secondly, fossil fuel-based power plant to vehicle exhaust pollution. Fossil fuels also present a wider scale problem when they are burned for energy in power plants. Chemicals like sulfur dioxide are released during the burning processes, which travel straight into the atmosphere. This type of pollutants react with the water molecules to yield something known as acid rain. This is one of the reasons that alternative energy sources such as nuclear, solar, and wind are being explored in a greater detail. They tend to release much less pollutant into the environment to produce equivalent amounts of energy. Thirdly, exhaust from industrial plants and factories. Similar to exhaust being released from vehicles, heavier machinery located inside big factories and industrial plants also emit pollution into the air. Industrial plants can be found pretty much everywhere in the world, so the spreading of air pollution is basically global. There are many different types of effects that air pollution can cause. For one, there's a human health factor to consider. If humans are at risk, then other forms of wildlife and organic creatures are in danger as well. Then there are the effects on the planets and in atmosphere. Firstly, accelerated global warming. This is a green energy discussion, so let's tackle this one first. Earlier on, you learned about the ozone layer and its role in protecting our planet. Air pollution directly accelerates the rate at which global warming happens by depleting the ozone layer. Global warming refers to the increased temperatures Earth continues to experience. These higher temperatures leads to the melting of the polar ice caps and iceberg, which elevates sea levels and creates a concern for the human race. Secondly, it will harmful to human respiratory and heart. Air pollution is known to cause irritation in the eyes, lungs, nose, and throat. It creates respiratory problems and exacerbates existing conditions such as asthma and emphysema. When continually exposed to the air pollution, humans become at higher risk for cardiovascular disease. Air filled with toxins can have a number of adverse effects on the arteries and have even been a contributor to heart attack. Thirdly, it will cause an acid rain. When air pollution, specifically sulfur dioxides and nitrogen oxides, are released into the skies through fossil fuel burning, it creates the phenomenon known as acid rain. Water in the high atmosphere combine with this chemical and become acidic in nature. It then scatters the ground disguised as normal rainfall. Acid rain has been known to cause harm to humans and animals alike and even damage crops. In conclusion, with air pollution being such a widespread epidemic, it's imperative that we come together as Earth inhabitants to become part of the solution instead of continuing to be the problem. We can make the choice to drive less toxic automobile. We can choose how much energy we consume on a daily basis. We can also choose to reuse our own materials instead of dumping them into the environment. Air pollution can have some devastating impacts on our bodies and the planet if left untouched.